kind of we talked about a little different highway project startup, and I always have to like promote this because like people from other regions come to visit, like they come take a level 3 class, or maybe they're teaching an area class or something, and I know a few people from other regions that are like, man, every time I come to Washington, it's boring. It's raining, or it's just after rain and it refroze, and so everyone's actually keep a vacation. So this is my primary program that I manage, and it's interstate lighting, and just east of Seattle. Primary corridor. In Washington State, we have 3 ground passes that are open year-round. Stevens Pass, which is Highway 2, Stripline Pass, Interstate 90, and US 12 White Pass. Each has a ski area and some type of avalanche program. I-90 is the busy one, 30,000 vehicles a day. Major ski area there, over 500,000 visits or more. It's basically where Seattle's learned to ski, and it's been around as a ski area for 75 years or something like that. It's also the lowest pass in the state, and for many of you, 3,000 feet may seem kind of underground, but that's our pass. Very much maritime snow climate. We get lots of snow at 3,000 feet. And it's about 435 inches is our average snowfall, and we just hit the 400 mark this week, Monday. And yeah, average annual precipitation for the calendar basically for the calendar year is over 100 inches, right in that range. We're sitting like as just mentioned about 106 since October 1st, and I was looking back at our records. They get kind of sketchy at some point in there. Looked like maybe in the 05-06 winter, I think we had 117. So yeah, it's more rain. We made it really well. Very much, you're part of the Northwest. The climate of the Western U.S. is dominated by drought in the summer, so a lot of that precipitation happens in the winter months. And our primary snowfall months are December, January. February, March can be pretty good. March is generally a pretty good month, not just for snowfall, but for colder snowfall. The winter months, we tend to do well with snow, even though the precipitation is really hard, because of the east flow. So cold air out of eastern Washington flowing through our pass has an effect of lowering the snow level locally by about 1,000 feet. So that's a real plus for us. We didn't have that, so Snoqualmie Pass probably wouldn't exist as a ski area, so it would still be a very wet place, but not quite snow. And here we see the SWE and the total precipitation. Total precipitation exceeding the SWE, meaning there's some liquid component to that every month in the winter, and considerably in December and January. So yeah, rain on snow is a very common occurrence, and it's pretty funny to know a true Northwest skier when we've gone for a few weeks with really nice dry snow, kind of stuff you guys probably have all the time, and people start saying things like, we really need some rain. This snow is it's bottomless. We really need some rain to compact it. And I mean, it's honest. Like people did. We went almost 40 days this winter in that December, January stretch without rain. And yeah, we were freaking out. How do you move around with snow if it hasn't rained back now? So there's a good rain on snow highway, and I use this to sort of introduce the risk component. This is based on Grant Staple's 2008 ISSW paper. I think he really simplifies the risk as being a combination of the hazard, so the likelihood of triggering an avalanche, and the destructive size, and the exposure, time, and vulnerability within that area. Those two combined equal risk. I think it's a real simple way of putting that together, and you can see just right there the risk of those people in the car and out of the car in comparison to that avalanche. But I'd want to be in a car if I was in that situation and not out of the car. Much like our last, the Chinook one with the buried dozer. The guy in the dozer was pretty solid. He's in a 35-ton box of steel. shovel. Yeah, it's a little different. Could you simplify more? Yeah, like, where you go and when you go. Where you go and when you go is also important too. They obviously influence right. That used to be my office. It's now the contractor's office, and they still haven't figured out the roof avalanche problem there. I-90, very busy highway, as I mentioned, and the use has only increased. You can see from the 50s on up. I-90's daily usage has gone through the roof, whereas US 2 and 12 have not really increased that much. There's sub 5,000 ADT, average daily traffic. Typically not in the winter, except for a few of the holidays. There are summertime traffic on the weekends. We can usually approach 5,000 an hour through the peak of the day. Can't really exceed it. There's always something breaks when that happens. That's the maximum. Just looking at daily traffic through the week and the percentage of semis and autos, and so really important for commercial. So we shut down for avalanche work. If it's even for anything more than an hour or two, we start to hear about it. If it's for a day, we really hear about it. It's like governor level. They're freaking out. The ports are backing up. And you got to get that passed over. Yeah, it looks like something like that. This is a non-avalanche issue. This is just Thanksgiving traffic, and it's snowing. But imagine if there was an avalanche problem when that row of cars get into your avalanche zone, your exposure is 100%. There's always somebody exposed to the hazard. Combine that with some volatile weather conditions like rain, snow turning to rain, and rapid onset of avalanche. You have a big problem really fast, faster than you can possibly. Yeah, here's an avalanche closure, and we stuffed the road. It's going to take a couple hours to clear it. Look at that line of semis. Yeah, those guys aren't too happy. Yeah, wet snow. This is like right in that transition from rain to snow. We can see that as that little battle of the air masses. Cold air is coming in, snow suddenly switches to westerlies, turns to rain. Instability rises, it goes back to snow, back to rain. And that wet snow can be a little pain to clear from the highway. So just a quick overview of our most active area and some of the improvements that are happening in that area. This is the East Shed. It's just east of Snoqualmie Pass, about a mile or so. There's a reservoir right in here, highway, snow shed. As long as that highway's been kept open in the winter, there's been some type of snow shed. So all the way back to the 30s, it was recognized that the avalanches were an issue in that area. For most travelers, they never see that. You just can't see those paths from the road. And so initially a wooden snow shed, and this concrete structure was a 2-lane snow shed. When it was a 2-lane highway, they expanded the highway to 4 lanes, but didn't invest in a larger snow shed. Just went with the idea that when an avalanche would block the road, you would just move traffic into the snow shed and have 2-way traffic through there. Thinking back to that chart of the daily traffic, go back to the 60s when that happened, the traffic volumes were that much. As traffic volumes increased, it became rather dangerous to run 2-way traffic through the snow shed. And your exposure, the amount of traffic going by there, increased. And snow comes right off the snow shed, increased the likelihood of a car being hit. Particularly if you're running a program, is like, we'll just wait until an avalanche happens and then react. And in the early 70s, there were a number of, late 60s, early 70s, there were a number of areas there, including a fatality, and that drove the Department of Transportation to establish an avalanche program. Avalanche program continued to work as a reactive device through the early 80s at least. The avalanche had to hit the road first before the crew was allowed to look and do explosive work. We've since gone the other direction and we try to do as much avalanche control there as possible, and the goal being not hitting the road or just putting a tiny bit of snow on the road to keep the overall closure down. There's kind of the main paths. The E-Shed 4, this is the primary one, return about 6 to 10 avalanches per year we hit the road. We get out to these we're talking more like 1 in 30, so we average every 30. For the east shed area, about 3/4 of an inch of water foot sweep will hit the road. So go back to that, how much snow we get, how much water equivalent we have, and start doing some math on that 3/4 of an inch and pretty accurate. So there's the existing or the old snow shed, I guess it's no longer there now. And the new design there is to build 2 bridges that will span that area that avalanche will pass under the highway. So we went from snow shed, which still affected those eastbound lanes. Those eastbound lanes were just direct targets, like there was nothing there. And then they removed the snow shed, and they said, you're going to have 2 winters without that snow shed. What are you going to do? I said, well, you didn't do anything to the start zone, so I'm going to do the same thing. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to remove all that snow? Interesting. So last winter was our first winter like this, and I know I'm always the bad guy for saying this. Last winter was the best winter ever. We had 104 inches of snow and 0 avalanches. It was perfect timing. I could not imagine a better winter for a construction project like this. I know it wasn't terrible for the ski areas, for skiing, for personal enjoyment and all that, but man, I did pretty well. I didn't have to worry too much that winter. So it was pretty nice. So then last summer they constructed the first bridge, but they didn't quite finish it, so another winter without any protection on the highway. And then we got into this winter, and we went from the worst on record, 104 inches, to the best December we've ever had, 193 inches in December. And we had a 7-day stretch, which is our snowiest 7-day stretch, 112 inches. So we exceeded 8 months worth of snowfall in 7 days this winter. And it started out kind of cool, like, track's not really filling in, and then as soon as we started doing control and fill the track that it was on, it was snowing. We had a meter and a half in 3 days. It was like, this kind of thing. They had to bring not only the blowers, they had to bring the excavators in. Really, after it was pretty big. We were close to like 25 hours for that. Kind of hurt. It was Christmas morning. But wet snow, we want to talk about wet snow. We want to talk about powder and anything like that. So yeah, back to the kind of snow and these events that we get. So fairly typical scenario for us is to start out with that cold air, start out with some nice snow, or open slide, that's the powder, everything's good, we're happy, and then conditions slowly warm. First aloft, so our density of the snow increases, and then eventually we lose that benefit of that cold air, and we switch to rain. Like I said, it can be rather rapid, and that initial onset of rain can trigger avalanches and get some widespread natural cycles quite quickly. Got the weather service there, the time series, we use those a lot for timing of when that's going to happen. So it's pretty critical for our operation. As conditions warm more, we do tend to entrain more snow, and it's unfortunate that you get bigger slides, the avalanches increase in size. As that water starts to penetrate deeper in the snowpack, start seeing more activity. Here's some natural activity that, smaller paths that we weren't really paying attention to obviously that day because the highway was open and there's snow on the road. And then even deeper as that rain penetrates further in the snowpack, and then we're getting down into the dirt. One tool we use, obviously a precipitation gauge and temperature sensors at different elevations. One tool we've implemented with our site is a lysimeter, and it's a pretty large collection area. It's a 10-foot by 10-foot concrete slab with a drains into a tipping bucket rain gauge. It's calibrated so that what's coming through there is, more or less it's like a giant rain gauge, but it's measured as water out of the snowpack. So we can see as that rain makes its way through the snowpack and begins to drain, are we seeing, first of all, the establishment of drain channels, and once we really see a good flush of water through there, the general idea is that we're moving work that way, but generally it does. Yeah, even uglier situation, really heavy rain, and the snowpack just reacted poorly to this. Well, we start to worry when the rain first starts to hit the surface of the snowpack, so then it's that lag time between it. So, say you have an early season drier snowpack, there's going to be a pretty big time difference between the onset of the rain and the drainage. Whereas, for like this winter, once we went through a couple of rain cycles and the drain channels were established, we were seeing water coming out of the snowpack within about 3 hours of the onset of the rain. So water is moving through the snowpack pretty quickly. Other situations, yeah, it may hang up for a while. There's obviously, you lose some of that water, especially in a drier snow. The snow's going to absorb some of that as well. Glide avalanches, a lot of water through the snowpack. And those are, unfortunately, we only have one glide area that potentially affects the interstate, but no history of it actually hitting the interstate. This is one over Alpine here that we monitor and use just kind of as a general tool. Another glide area. That's a pretty awesome run at Alpine called Shot 8. It's not part of the ski area, a little bit out of bounds, but pretty easy access. Yeah, a lot of these situations too with the rain, we get in these little kind of outlier areas. Not your established avalanche path, but cut banks, smaller slopes. In this case, it's just a small slope that had been cleared in preparation for the construction project, opened up a little more terrain, and so the cut bank itself released wet snow. It wasn't, the highway was closed, so we were rather fortunate to walk the road. The biggest problem I have with that is that it just happened to come down right where drainage is on the highway, and it led to like a pool about 3-4 feet deep backing up on the highway. Some poor maintenance tech in his car had to walk out there, poke around with a shovel and try to find where that drainage was. I'm sure you've all had this happen with your day board or your shop board. Right? So have that? Or you go out to your study plot, start digging a pit, you realize you're standing on a lake. Yeah, that happens. So that's when you're getting like a lot of water out of the way, so there's that one. Yeah. Rubber boots are pretty standard there. But there's some beauty to it. At least I appreciate the wet snow. Pretty cool effects in some of the slides, the gouging and everything like that. So, these are two very active paths we have that go under the highway on the west side under a bridge. So they're great indicators. You can see like how the snowpacks are acting to the rain. There's an active natural avalanche. And again, I showed that this one earlier. This one, obviously came down some force. Jumped up on that side. It was a pretty nice one that day because it really cleared the track. Some of these tracks we have, one of the issues is there are creeks underneath as well. So you have this additional issue with a lot of water being present. Pretty big problem. Slides don't have to be big in these rain events. This was a rather small little feeder came off and just peeled that little bit of snow off the top of the shed roof. But back to exposure, the risk. One of the advantages of a bare dry or bare wet highway like that is traffic's moving pretty fast. So their exposure, their time of exposure within the avalanche path is very, very small. But again, back to that timing, if there's something in the road, and say semi's going about 75 miles an hour, and it gets this little tiny pile of snow, it's catastrophic. So this one we could see it coming, but it was like, yeah, or maybe it's you guys who wanted to shut down preemptively. Because you never really know, is it going to happen in an hour or in the next 3 hours? And with the little catchment there, we felt it was all right. It jumped the catchment, and so we had to shut the highway down. Conditions started to clear and cool. Figured if we waited a couple hours, the sun would get off the slope as well. We'd see a refreeze and back to stability, and we did. Nice crust started to form on the snow surface, and about the time I said, go ahead, blow that pile out of there, and let's get it reopened. They just finished blowing the pile out, and it happened again. This one, in this case, was a frozen waterfall on the track. Water running underneath it and undermined it, and the entire thing looks like a pile of snow that's almost all solid ice under there. I don't know how you forecast for ice fall. You got any ideas? One of our artillery areas, and this provided a unique challenge to us one year. It's all shoot everything with the gun. It's typically out of the equation by like mid to late March, just lower elevation. We had an exceptional year a few years back with good, solid, low elevation snowpack and a lot of snow in the spring, followed by either warming or a rain event. And we were really having a hard time managing the avalanche from there. So we kind of took, remember from the Chinook Pass presentation, kind of took that approach to just going up and ski hiking. Going up in the morning when things were cool and stable, waiting for it to warm, having to stop traffic, and did some ski hiking. And it was really, really effective, like too effective. As you can see from the Jersey barrier, broken trees in there. And that's when like the maintenance foreman goes by and gives you that look, and you're like, yeah.
That picture.
But yeah, wet snow can do some pretty cool things. It can keep it together, or it can avalanche. This is kind of run through like again that sort of standard fare, standard, non-standard. But in this event, we had a nice little rain crust from the previous rain event, and it was a light event, so just a thin crust. Then we got this beautiful low density snow, and this is like you just blow away. Something we rarely ever see in the Northwest. You guys probably see that all the time. And but as the snow continued to fall, something was going on above that was changing the snow crystals. They were going from these nice little fuzzy stellars that lightly rhymed more into needles, and the density increased, and basically started to form a slab on top of this really low density layer. Kind of swoosh that down, have that weak layer, nice slab, and we knew the rain was coming as well. And it was because it was such a small size event, we didn't really have to do anything to the highway other than we just drove around. We're like, it's supposed to start raining at 10:30. It's going to happen. And everywhere we went, it's just like really cool little slabs happening. It's a great learning experience for all of us on the crew. We kind of forecasted that, Feel proud of yourself not having like snow on the highway, cars, things out there.
John, how much time after the onset of the rain did you see?
This was that there happened probably within a 10 to 15 minute period. Yeah. So really rapid. Like as soon as that rain started hitting it, hitting the snow, you're increasing the surface temperature. You're increasing that differential creep, and just putting too much stress on it. That weak layer underneath was just that much more sensitive. So knowing that snow structure is really, really important for dealing with rain on snow events. Each one's going to react a little differently. As I said, we have instrumentation. We don't always rely on instrumentation. You've got to get out there and look at what's actually going on. And I don't know if we have those conditions at 100 degrees. So this is one kind of non-standard event I'll run through, just because it was so unique and over the top. When 2009 coming into this, we were going through one of those periods, those Northwest moments of like, well, it's going to get rain. The snow's been too dry and cold for a while. And when the rain started, we got these loose avalanches, and everything seemed pretty good. The rain started seeing the water come through to the lysimeter, and hey, cool, activities, it's on. avalanching's happening, and we're probably in a pretty good situation. Nothing too major, a lot of our past. Later that night, things started to really change, and like water just started bursting out of the snowpack in places, particularly in creeks. This one was rather unfortunate for the driver of this vehicle. He described it, he was going down the highway, he described it as being, he thought it was snow blowing off the trees. Of course, it's raining hard, you wouldn't really see that. And his quote was, "Yeah, I saw the snow blow off the trees, and then I picked my head up from the airbag, and then the car was filled with water, and I couldn't open my door, and I went out the hatch, and I got in the semi, and I was like, oh, that's cool, everything's all right." He was that casual about it. Yeah, we got down, we were like, dude, look at this car, we're like, dude, you're so lucky. This creek just like exploded across the road. Rocks, trees, ice, snow, and it was just flowing like that. And just water just poured across the road. And then it just continued to get worse that night. Like we thought, okay, well that happened. That's probably it. We had the avalanches earlier in the day. We thought that was it. That thing happened. We thought that was it. Then next thing you know, our yard starts to flood, our maintenance yard. We got a river going out of the highway, and the interstate's like this. It's just like a flowing river at this point. We're like, okay, well, that's as fast as it's gonna get. Then the next day, like 27 hours after the onset of the rain, the ski hill at Hayek, let's go. Wipes out the chairlift. This is now the water is penetrated through the snowpack, it's penetrated, it's going into the soil, it's destabilized the soil. Yeah, pretty bad. 2 houses were destroyed, total. This one knocked about 20 feet off its foundation. The old guy who owned it, he was on the toilet when it happened, on the top floor. He's like, whoa, man, what's going on? Yeah. These guys lost their hot tubs. Hope that was in their time sheet. We went out and did a kind of a cursory search, but it's like, the paths have been closed. Who would in their right mind be out in that much rain, skiing, or anything like that? But, we obviously do it a lot, so we looked around. This is kind of like before this whole event happened. We had really cold weather, very dry run, good long run of dry snow, and waterfalls almost completely frozen. And this is post storm, like 2 days later, like that. Just a lot of water moving through there. There's your hourly precipitation, and then the outflow in black underneath there. So, never quite got up to parity with what was coming in and going out. The snowpack did absorb a lot of that water. One interesting thing we had was, even after that event at Hayek where the chairlift was wiped out, later that day we finally had a glide avalanche on the slope that we monitored, and that was just like, what? Why did that take so long? And the biggest thing we can think is it took that long for the snowpack to consolidate into some kind of a slab, a cohesive mass in order to move. So yeah, like in this event, it was really that unconsolidated snowpack. Just really didn't have any true structure to it. And then the creeks and the underlying waterways being frozen just because for us, very abnormal conditions to have very cold temperatures like that. In contrast, this year, even though we went that long period without rain, our lysimeter was putting out about 500ths a day, even during that whole dry period, just because the earth was warm and it was melting into that snow and shade. Water outflow doesn't always accurately tell us when we're coming back to stability, but it is a very useful tool. In the greater scheme of things, it's really worked out. Certain situations are going to be different, and that's where understanding the snowpack really helps. As I said about the consolidation of the snowpack, I think that was really needed in order to get that glide avalanche. And of course, the only rule of thumb is there is no rule of thumb, right? Every situation is unique. So that's my rain story.